holly wreaths. We've decided to do the wreaths in paper, in old maps, because we didn't have any holly. So here's an old map with some green and red on it, and it isn't not double-sided, so I'm gluing it together, so when I cut the leaves out, they have a back and a front. A holly leaf has these prickly edges, and it's almost like waves, so I'm cutting 1, 2, 3, 4 waves into each side, 3 waves into each side, and get these small prickly bits at the end of it. And once I've done that, I have to cut up quite a few, but at least they're double-sided, and I've folded the paper, so I'm cutting up several in one go. If there's any leftover pieces, don't hesitate to just go for another little piece, another little holly leaf. It's quite good when you have different sizes of the leaves, so they're not all the same size. And you can always put a bit of glitter on it if you want to afterwards, even though it's not completely green. I'm pricking a hole through 2 of them. I'm putting them together on a wire, and I'm wrapping the wire around. But where it's meeting the paper, I'm putting a little bit of masking tape to cover it up. And then making sure I've got this little twig of a holly. And you're not obliged to use the floral tape, but the floral tape just can cover up the masking tape, and it makes it easier when you assemble it on the wreath. So twist a little bit, and the wire is a little bit too long, so I'm just cutting off that bit, so I've got a proper little twig. Here's another one. I'm just, sometimes you can use the masking tape. Sometimes the leaves are actually sturdy enough for you not to use the masking tape, and they just seem to grip better. So I'll let you figure that one out. I always find it such a shame when they fall off when you're assembling the wreath. I just wanted to show you, if you want to put glitter on it, it's a good idea to use another glue, and then you just dip it into glitter. So these are the red berries that go with it. I'm using tissue paper, rolling a little ball. You can use a cotton wool as well, and then you wrap it into the paper and nip it around. It's a bit of a fiddly job, and then I put the wire around it, and I've got this little tail end that needs to get cut off, and make sure you don't get cut into the wire with the paper scissors. And then I wrap masking tape around it and make it as dainty as I possibly can with my big fingers. And anyway, there's the leftover goes into the other berry, so you just basically twist and make these small berries out of it. It's quite fun once you get into it. And then wrap the wire around it. Cut off the tail bit, use it for the next berry, put masking tape around it, and then afterwards put the floral tape around it, and just reminding you that the floral tape is sticky when you pull it. So it gets very sticky. I tend to do all the floral tape at the very end because otherwise your fingers get very sticky, and then especially with tissue paper, it's really hard to keep on working. So now you've got a little couple of berries, and they're good at, if you put them into the stem of the leaf, they actually cover up the joint. If there is a hole on the floral tape, if you see the masking tape, repair it on the berries straight away, because it'll annoy you afterwards, I promise you. There's no point in wasting that moment. So then you start assembling it on a structure. And you could use the hanger as well this time around, but I'm using a piece of wire, just making a slightly smaller wreath than the hanger would give me. So I'm just assembling them. I'm figuring out how they work together, and sometimes it's good to put it flat on the table and just build up on it. Sometimes a single leaf doesn't work there, but it needs to sort of be squeezed in between the other leaves and between the berries. So it's really about finding a good balance of the leaves and making sure that they look as balanced and as homogeneous as possible. And the berries can sort of, because they're all wired, you can make them stick up and make them look more red than the green floral tape that you're seeing right now. But you could also do that at the very end. So just keep building until you get till the end of the circle. And of course you can sing whilst you're doing it.